got the game ball, and that's Deshaun Kaiser. We're going to have to play better football than we did today. But we got the win today, and you earned it, and you deserved it. I want to keep getting better because you've got a great resolve, a great toughness that you find ways to win football games. That's something that you cannot duplicate.
Fall is always a wonderful time here in the campus of the University of Notre Dame, and this fall for Fighting Irish football fans, it's just a bit sweeter right now because the Fighting Irish are ranked 8th in the country, and they stayed alive in the hunt for a coveted playoff spot with a thrilling come-from-behind road win over then 21st ranked Temple Saturday night in Philadelphia. Hello again, Irish fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly. I'm Jack Nolan. With 4:45 left in the game, the Irish got the ball on their own 25, trailing by 3. And once again, first-year quarterback Deshaun Kaiser came through. In just his 6th start, Kaiser led the Irish on a late fourth-quarter scoring drive for the 3rd time this season and is now the only Notre Dame quarterback ever to throw 2 game-winning TD passes in the final 3 minutes of a game in the same season.
I've gotten a lot of experience in the first, 6-7 games of the season, and I've been in a lot of situations as a young quarterback, and it's kind of sculpted me into the guy I am right now. I've been through quite a bit. The last drive of there that we were playing, I already went through it once and twice, and that experience is what's allowing me to be comfortable out there.
That last play was just great. All props go to Deshaun, seeing the coverage and fitting that ball in the tight area.
We came out with a run play. They put a little extra in the box. We broke it down got into Max Pro, and I trusted the best receiver in the country to go up and get one for me.
Coming up on Inside Notre Dame Football.
He just continues to do the things necessary to win football games and to win on the road.
And Coach Long said, it's all right, we'll work with you. We recruited you for your speed. I'm like, oh, okay.
Bounces up there and the receiver's back there and he catches it innocently. Win for that, we win by 14.
Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame partners Sprint, Coke Zero, Under Armour, and Gatorade. Inside Notre Dame Football is also sponsored by Delta Airlines, proud to be the official airline of Notre Dame Athletics, Bank of America, Cadillac, Canon, Xfinity, Meyer, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and UPS.
Kaiser keeps it and follows a block, and the Irish do draw first blood in the lane.
This was the biggest game in the history of Temple football, and even with a sizable Notre Dame contingent, that was a Temple home game. Yeah. A lot of people believe you win the game in the 4th quarter, that last play. An argument can be made that you won this game with your opening drive.
Well, it was a systematic drive where we were able to move the ball effectively on some 3rd down conversions, running the football, mixing it up, running the quarterback. I thought it was, at least one of those drives where I think we sent a message that we're capable of moving the football on this defense, and we did. I think 467 yards in total offense, but it was the 2 turnovers in the red zone that were really kept this game where it was, and so we have to do a better job in the red zone. You can move it up and down the field all you want, but you got to put points on the board.
One of the areas where it's most obvious that Deshaun is still learning is the read option, and yet even with that learning process, he ran for 143 yards and a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, and obviously the read option on 3rd down was a huge play. Pulls it and is able to come up with a big, I think, 79-yard run or something to that effect. He's a big physical kid. He's starting to learn how to run the ball up inside the tackles a little bit, but when you have a weapon like that, you've got to use him, and I think he's learning how to run the football inside as well.
Then you're trailing late in the game, 20-17, and Kaiser basically does it again. He has now led you on 3 late scoring drives, and he's the first Notre Dame quarterback to throw a touchdown pass in the final 4 minutes of a game twice in the same season to win the game.
I think it starts with the 3rd down conversion, one that you would expect a fifth-year senior or a guy that's been around the league for a long time to make, and he made a great throw there and picked up a key third down for us to keep the drive alive.
Talk about the pass to Jones.
Will really becomes a decoy on the play, and he comes up and then breaks down inside like a slant. The corner bit on it, and now we bring Alizé over the top of him. It usually is a pretty good bait route for us, and they took the bait, and we were able to get the ball out to Alizé.
And then the winning score, the pass to Fuller.
We knew that they were checking when we checked to cover 2, which is double zone. He checked to it, and he threw it right in the hole just before the safety could get there. Pretty gutsy check. Deshaun knew what he wanted to do. He was decisive with it. It was a run play. He checked out of the run play into a pass play and threw a great ball.
Escapes and then throws downfield. Intercepted.
You said before the Temple game you thought that this defense was close to delivering 4 complete quarters. Did they do it against Temple?
I thought they played better. We had a couple of mistakes here and there, some individual mistakes that, in the run game where some guys were out of their fits. They didn't take the quarterback. By and large, I thought we played much better. We didn't give up that big play per se. And when we needed to make the big plays, we made the big plays. So I think defensively, against the rush, very stout. I'd like to make a couple more plays on the perimeter, compete for the ball. But when we needed to make the big play, Kavari Russell stepped up again big for us.
Early in the game, the first 2 possessions for Temple, I thought the defensive line really set a tone.
I think so too. I think, 0 to negative yardage when you're, obviously on first down was key for us. We got them into a lot of third down situations. Didn't convert as much as I would like to, but I thought it was pretty evident that we were going to be able to control the line of scrimmage. They got into a pretty good routine, or rhythm, I should say, running some zone option. We made a couple mistakes on the quarterback read, but other than that, I thought pretty much we controlled the line of scrimmage.
Sheldon Day said he came back because he couldn't leave these guys, but I think you all agreed if he came back, he'd be a better football player. He was a little dinged up in this game, and yet he may have played his best game.
Dominating performance again from Sheldon. I think this is a great illustration of why you would come back for your senior season, your 5th season. He was outstanding, leading by example, playing with great energy, playing a little dinged up. Again, he set a high bar for the way you play as a senior, and really proud of his efforts.
Everybody knows Kavari Russell has the ability to be a shutdown corner. People forget this is his first year in a new defensive system. He struggled a bit against Temple, but he came up with that huge play to basically seal the win.
Yeah, and the great thing about Kavari is he's got a short memory. He's a guy like Deshaun where he doesn't carry a lot of that negativity around with him. He believes in himself. He's got great confidence, and if you keep throwing it his way, he's going to make a play. And obviously that was the case late in the game. They kept throwing it his way, and when we needed a big play, he came up with it.
Last season, Will Fuller put up the best numbers of any sophomore receiver in Notre Dame history. Will then picked up where he left off to start this season, joining Hall of Famer Tom Gatewood as the only Notre Dame receivers to start a season with 3 straight 100-yard receiving games. Saturday, Fuller returned to his hometown of Philadelphia with more than just a little bit of flair, catching a game-winning touchdown pass for the 2nd time this season and moving past the 2,000-yard career receiving mark in the process. Recently, our Jack Collinsworth met up with Fuller in the Players Lounge of the Goog for a relaxed, wide-ranging conversation.
Notre Dame's hopes for a championship season ride on this drive being successful.
You really tell Coach Kelly give him the ball and score?
I don't even remember. When game time was a lot different, so I probably did.
Notre Dame has to hurry now. Great defense by Virginia. They've got to throw the ball down the field.
Yep. Were you even lined up?
I was, but I was looking at the run to tell him I was off the ball. And when I looked back, the ball was hiked, so I was like, whoa.
So then you just...
Here's the home run ball. Going for it is Fuller. He's out there. He catches it. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
I'm happy CJ was blocking that play because, the time was a little off. But hey, it worked out for the best of us.
Kaiser takes a look, throws a long ball downfield. He has a receiver there. Caught by Fuller. He's on the run. He's inside the 10. He answers.
One of the key matchups tonight was going to be Will Fuller on Adoree Jackson. That time, Will Fuller just blew by him.
Say I'm just playing outside. I was always the fastest. When I was younger, elementary school, I was always like pick first and tag and things like that.
Yeah.
High school, I wasn't the fastest. I didn't run track. I just looked at myself as somewhat like just being quick.
Like, even in football, you weren't.
I wasn't. Like, if you look at my high school highlight tape, I get caught a couple times. And Coach Longo said, it's all right, we'll work with you. You know, we recruited you for your speed. I'm like, oh, okay. And then, I don't know, I guess I took that to heart and I just started working from there on, and yeah, I just started using it to my advantage.
Tonight in Philadelphia, Notre Dame, the number 9 team in America, goes against the Temple Owls, who are unbeaten and ranked 21st in the country.
Owls don't bring pressure. Kaiser has time, delivers a strike to Will Fuller. He gets up and already some pushing and shoving. This guy's from Philadelphia and wants a huge game tonight.
Clock running down to 3:30 in the fourth quarter. Temple by 3. Starts to roll out. Throws it downfield. Makes the connection to Fuller for a first down on a crossing pattern.
Clutch play for the Philadelphia native. Kaiser looks to the end zone. Loops the throw. Caught. Touchdown. Will Fuller, hometown touchdown. 17 yards, Kirk, and you had a feeling Will Fuller, so fired up for his homecoming game, would eventually do something tonight.
Knowing that you were coming home, could you have scripted it any better than this?
Not at all. You know, getting that last game-winning touchdown, that's a perfect way to come home and and leave back out to South Bend.
Favorite class?
Voice and movement.
One thing the public would be surprised to learn about you.
I can sing a little bit.
Favorite spot at Notre Dame?
La Fortune.
Player on the team most like you?
CJ Process.
Best nickname on the team and who has it?
Shoe. Elijah Schumann.
Funniest thing that has happened in practice this season?
It was a time where Yoon was coming across the field and Will Fuller was going deep, and Yoon was trying to run out of the way real quick.
Hardest hitter on the team?
Elijah Schumann.
Best singer on the team?
Amir Carlisle.
Best dancer on the team?
Torrey Hunter Jr.
Best comedian on the team?
Elijah Schumann.
Best dresser on the team?
Corey Robinson.
Worst dresser on the team?
CJ Process.
Best thing about playing for Notre Dame?
Get a run out of that stadium.
Chris Brown, you've completed 60 seconds of Inside Notre Dame Football.
Thank you.
As we head into the month of November, we thought it was a good time to take a look back at one of the great upset wins in Notre Dame football history, the November 13th, 1993 Irish upset of top-ranked Florida State.
We had time to prepare. They had only given up one rushing touchdown all year, and that was on the 8th attempt from inside the 2-yard line. That's the only one.
Now, you know, Lou, he was building those guys up all week. Hey, yeah, I don't know how we're going to stick with, Jared Brooks, the All-American linebacker. They have a running back. We can't stick with him with speed, this or that. He's just building them up. And he's just setting them up for the fall, man. You know what I mean? Just from a psychological standpoint. And the whole time, he's reinforcing, and encouraging us, telling us how we're going to beat them.
Irish coming on the blitz. The quick pass to the far side. It's going to be a touchdown, Kevin Knox. Florida State, 10 plays, 89 yards, and the Seminoles are out in front.
We didn't get down, they scored, but it was Lou's voice that you heard. And guys started to echo that on the sideline, saying, hey, Lou told us this was going to happen. He said that they were going to, throw a punch, but we weren't going to get knocked down and we were going to come back. But can they take a punch?
Play action fake, flip, coming to the near side, Jarrell. 35, 30, 25, sideline, 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
We run a reverse with Adrian Jarrell. Back to the right, he goes in untouched. After that, we dominated the game up until the last 3 minutes.
Hands off, section off to the side. 20, 15, down to the 10, right to the goal line. He's there! Touchdown, Lee Becton. Here's Ward running to the outside, throwing long downfield. The pass is intercepted. Covington at the 45. Burris right side down to the 5. Touchdown. On the hole at right tackle, Jeff Burris looking to throw under pressure. Brian Young got him. Down he goes. Fires the pass Knox makes the catch. Gets away from Justin Golding. Fumbles the ball. Scramble for it. Irish have recovered. Pete Persich got it. Back to throw. Looks. Swings it out. It goes to Dunn. Dunn for the touchdown. Hands it off to Burris. Burris under the 10. 5. Touchdown! Jeff Burris!
We're ahead 31-17 with 3 minutes to go in the game, and they have 4th and 20 on our 20.
Charlie Ward rifled the pass. Blocked. Caught. The pass was deflected and then caught by Kez McCorvey.
Bounces up in the air, and the receiver's back here, and he catches it innocently. Win for that. I mean, we win by 14.
Hands it off left side, Zellers. Zellers fights down to about the 43-yard line. So the Seminoles, with no timeouts left, have to traverse 63 yards. Ward back to throw. Looks, fires a pass, and it's batted down. That stops the clock. There's 3 seconds left. He'll have a chance for one more play. Last play of the game. This is it. Ward flushed out of the pocket. Throwing in the end zone. Knocked down by Wooden. The game is over. The Irish is upset. Florida State. Notre Dame wins. Pandemonium on the field. 31-24. Notre Dame is number 1.
It's time now for the experts at TireRack.com question of the week for Coach Kelly. This week's question comes from Adam Rudis of Riverdale, New York. Coach, what are some of the qualities that a person has to have to be an effective recruiter at a major university like Notre Dame?
Well, I think first of all you have to know the mission of the university, because you're not selling used cars. You're selling the mission of the university. So having a clear understanding of what the mission is of the university, and then clearly it's hard work. We're going coast to coast. You've got to put in the time. We're not recruiting just this area code. We're East Coast to West Coast. So you've got to have a great work ethic. And I think the third thing is great communication skills, the ability to communicate with all people, and whether that be the student athlete or the parents or administrators. So I think those are probably the 3 most important characteristics.
Next up for the Irish, a trip to Pittsburgh to take on a 6-2 Pitt Panthers team that always seems to play the Irish tough.
It's going to be a great test. Ducey's doing a great job. They'll have a similar look that Michigan State's had on defense. Offensively, physical. Tyler Boyd, one of the better skill players in the ACC. Another rock'em sock'em football game in the state of Pennsylvania, and one that we'll have to obviously be ready for.
And that will do it for this week's show. We'll be back next week to break down all the highlights of the Notre Dame Pitt game. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Irish.
Inside Notre Dame Football with Brian Kelly is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame partners Sprint, Coke Zero, Under Armour, and Gatorade. Inside Notre Dame Football is also sponsored by Delta Airlines, proud to be the official airline of Notre Dame Athletics, Bank of America, Cadillac, Canon, Xfinity, Meyer, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and UPS.